think as somebody that is more, I'm in my, I would say early to mid 30s, won't give my exact age, but as somebody that is younger in this industry, being able to stand out amongst mostly older men, I think a lot of you guys already know that. Do I have a clicker that I'll be able to use? Okay. So it's so empowering to see somebody like Amanda come into this space and really tell her story and build this incredible platform for all of you women. And with that being said, I kind of want to share, before I get into my presentation, I want to share a little bit with you about me and my journey and where I got to where I am today. As it relates to women in the industry and really finding your voice. From a very young age, even my first couple of career decisions that I made, I was in meetings with people and I was told to not be too loud, to lower your voice, watch your tone. I did not last very long in those positions or with those managers because I never want to be silenced. So I think for me, key was finding a company to work for and finding managers that valued my voice and that allowed me to be me and to be authentic. I think that's another reason why I love what I get to do, and that is to present to agents technology and data to help them. And I don't have a lot of censorship with that. I think that's so powerful that they have really allowed me to create my own avenue and to really take that where I want it to be. But even recently, I was told, hey, take your comments offline. Ooh, never tell somebody to take their comments offline, especially somebody like me, because I'm not going to take my comments offline. I'm actually going to take my comments to somebody else that's going to listen to me. Because I want you all to feel like your voice will always be heard. I also kind of have created this mantra for myself is if I'm not invited to the table, I'm going to bring my own chair. And recently, I did that for months and months and months. I wanted to be a part of this particular meeting. And I've asked every single month, can I come? Can I come to this meeting? Oh, I don't think we're quite there yet. I showed up. I said, hey, I'm coming. I know you guys are meeting. I'm going to come and I'm going to be there. And they didn't really say anything like, okay, she is coming, right? So that really empowered me and also allowed me to tell people, if you are not valued at a table, it's time to find a new table. So either bring your chair or find a new table and be with people that are going to value what you are saying and work with people. We had some conversations last night when we were talking with a couple of women, we were talking about compliance. Work with people that have those same values as you do and are going to follow the rules just like you do. So find like-minded people to be with. I have one other thing before I'll get my presentation. I think one of the most powerful things that I have done is really figure out who I am and what I value. I know we just talked about that a little bit, but I figured out for myself 4 core values. And those 4 core values, if I'm doing anything or working or around people that don't value my 4 core values, then it's not the best fit for me. So mine are love. I want to be loved. I want to be appreciated, right? I want to be with people that love who I am and embrace who I am and let me be me. My second is family. Family is the most important thing to me. I have 2 young girls. They're 3 and 5. And I travel a lot for work. So I need to work for a company that supports my family and my situation. And if I say, hey, I'm sorry I can't be there, it's my daughter's birthday, sorry, I'm not gonna be there, it's her birthday. I started a new little thing with my 2 girls. I bring stuffed animals with me where I travel. So now the stuffed animals come, I took a picture of them on stage. I took a picture of them in the airplane with me, and I share that with my girls because I want my girls to be part of my story, and I also want them to see what their mom is doing, and that is one way for me to do that. My next one is recognition. I like to be recognized for my work, right? I work really, really hard, and I want to be with people that also recognize that and say, good job. Don't, okay, you met your goal, here's your next big goal. Recognize me for that hard work that I just did. And then the last one is strength. I want to be powerful. I want to walk into a room where people recognize me and say, God, she has strength, she has power. And I want to help women like you recognize your strength as well. Two things that really helped me find my strength. I got my colors done. Has anyone gotten their colors done before? Okay. Best money you can spend is getting your colors done, because they tell you exactly what colors look good on you and you feel more confident. Guess what my number one color was when I did mine? Red. So when I go and I present, I either wear red or I wear my blue that's in my headshot. That's typically what I will wear if I'm getting up and presenting, because I want to feel confident, I want to be strong. And then the other thing that they do at House of Colors, where I got my colors done, they also do a style, and they tell you what you look good in. I always hated how I looked on Mother's Day or on Easter. I just hated those pictures. And I went back and I was like, God, I was wearing floral. I'm not a floral person. I'm a powerful, strength person. I'm just not a floral person. So I got home, I went home, got rid of all my floral dresses. My husband's like, oh, dear God, here we go, right? I'm going on a shopping spree. But I just wanted to, I know I kind of went off topic there for a little bit, but I think seeing what Amanda's doing here and just empowering so many of you women, it makes me want to do the same for all of you and just kind of hopefully help you find your voice, help you find your table, and then help you find people that are going to value you and recognize your strength and let you be who you are. So today I'm talking a lot about understanding the Medicare market. I do have my contact information up here if anybody wants to capture. I don't have a ton of business cards with me, but take my email down. If you have any questions after today's presentation, please feel free to contact me on there. I really have two positions within my role that I do. I do a lot of training with agents on the CSG Actuarial's platform, which I'm really going to be focused on here today, and the market data that is in it. I also run all of our technology trainings at Integrity, and really coaching agents on how to use our technology platforms to really grow their business. My main goal for all of you here today is to help you better understand how you can use data and technology to make more informed decisions. I think before we spend any marketing dollars, before we try to come up with these great business plans, we need to understand the data behind that so we can make more informed decisions. I also want to help you find your market opportunity. We know that probably 80% of our Medicare Advantage clients are going to be shopping this AEP, so really helping you figure out where those market opportunities are going to be is what I'm going to show you here today. And also a great way to capture more leads, because we know if people are shopping, that's an opportunity for you to capture business of maybe some insurance agents that aren't servicing their clients as well as I know all of you service your clients. I also want to show you how you're going to spend your time more wisely. It's also really understanding when our clients are shopping and when you should be engaged with them, making sure that you are spending the most out of that. And really, I want you guys all to thrive in this market disruption, and I want you to come up on top. So I just want to coach you here today on how the data can help you do that. How many of you know about CSG Actuarial? Raise your hand, or use our quoting platform. Awesome. There's probably going to be some stuff in here that won't necessarily be new to you, but maybe new ways to think about it. I always like to tell people that we started as an actuarial consulting firm. And why is that? And what makes our platform different than others out there is because we put data into that actuaries look at when they are pricing and when they are figuring out a book of business. So there's data in there that a lot of other platforms will just show you a premium, but we're going to show you loss ratios, rate adjustment history, age increases, all things that you should be looking at beyond just that particular monthly premium. And we're an unbiased quoting tool. We quote 100% of the market. And why is that important to know? Because you need to know what else is out there in the market. I see so many agents that say, I just want to quote the carriers that I'm contracted with. Well, great, but what happens when your clients are reached out by other insurance agents? They are. And you have to answer questions about, hey, why did this one agent quote me this plan? And what are the difference with these benefits versus these benefits? And making sure that you have tools and resources to answer those questions on, hey, I recommend this plan over this plan because of X, Y, and Z. Oh, that other agent didn't tell me that. It's so important. But also important to know which carriers you should get contracted with. Start asking questions. I know a lot of your uplines may be recommending certain carriers to you, but we want to do what's best for our seniors and our clients, so being able to access rates for other carriers is really important to know. So in our MedSup quoting tool, we will show you all of the age increases, the increase history, the market data, and I'm going to be talking a lot about what we're seeing as far as these particular trends go in the MedSup market here today. We also show you in a non-biased way, and I know this is hard to see, so it's just imagine what it says. Every single insurance carrier that is taking a rate increase in every single state, when that's going into effect, and the plan type for each, or the rate adjustment for each one. So you can come into our system and you can see what carriers are doing across states. That way it can help you better plan for the states that you are in, because likely if you start tracking these trends on, you know, this particular carrier took a rate increase in my state, but the carriers that I write have not, you can go and you can see what those other carriers are doing, because your carriers that you write are likely following suit based upon that performance in that particular state, or just know how that carrier's block of business is performing. So just staying up to date and tracking. So as we're starting to talk about age increases for Medicare supplements, we know they're going up, right? They're going up because of what we call the COVID effect, right? So individuals where they were not going to their doctor, now we started to see a spike and people return to the doctor in 2022, 2023, and carriers' MedSup plans were not priced to take all of those claims in. So they all kind of came in at one time. So now you are seeing rate increases come out. If you think about it, with inflation, normal inflation, it's 5% every single year. So if carriers are taking a 5% rate increase, that is normal with inflation, okay? That's coming from actuaries that are actually telling me that. I am not an actuary. I like to make sure everyone knows that, but a lot of the data that I'm telling you is from them. So we are seeing an increase, and we're seeing it kind of, we see some spikes with larger carriers. You see some carriers, I hate calling out carriers, but I like to explain why you may see some carriers taking larger rate increases than others. One is UnitedHealthcare. They are taking a higher rate increase, but they also have almost all the book of business for Medicare supplements, right? So when we start getting into enrollments, we see that. So we always tell agents, spread your book of business around. But these carriers, they can take different rate adjustments for different plan types. So you are starting to see that Plan G average is an 8.8%, and it's a little bit lower than a Plan N. Now you're probably seeing a lot of carriers start talking about the Plan N. Why are so many people pitching up the Plan N? Well, over time, as you can see here within this chart, they have had lower rate adjustments than other books of business. We also know that their premiums are lower, so it has been a way for individuals to still continue getting a Medicare supplement plan at a lower premium, if it makes sense for them to do that with those co-pays, access charges, and things like that. So I always tell agents that do what's best for your client if that would make the most sense for them. But when you look at charts like this, it's scary. It's scary seeing those rate adjustments spike up like that, right? So I always say, well, let's go back to the premiums. If we're starting to look at premiums over the last, from 2019 to 2024, so the last 5 years, $14 a month is the difference, right? So some of these rate increases, it could seem like, gosh, 12 is such a high number, or 10 is such a high number, but if we do the math, it's an extra $5, an extra $3 a month. So I always say, don't let the percentages scare you as much, but do the actual math for the premiums. Again, you're probably not going to be able to see this as well, and I can send anybody these slides, but just keep in mind, Different states will have different rate increases. And you can see that carriers can take rate adjustments at any time of year. In the very beginning of 2024, when United Healthcare and the Anthem and the Blues, they normally all take their rate adjustments at the first of the year in most of their states. And everyone started freaking out that, oh my gosh, I saw 10%, I saw 15%. Oh my gosh, I need to start moving my block of business. And we were like, don't do that. No, because carriers are going to be following suit with that. So if your main carriers have not taken your rate adjustment yet, just know that we've only received 50% of the rate increases that we will going to see the rest of the year, because we don't have every single carrier doing those yet. So as we start talking about our rate adjustments, we have to be looking at those loss ratios. And of course, again, we're seeing that spike in loss ratios. So within the CSG quoting tool, we will show you a carrier's loss ratio. And those loss ratios are going to help you predict rate adjustments. So we think about how much premium is that particular carrier taking in. Out of that, what percent are they paying in now on claims? So right now, we're seeing some carriers have the 90s to 100% for loss ratios, which are then returning those higher rate adjustments. They need to stabilize that block of business. They were not anticipating that. So when carriers go into price, they have targets. We want X percent going in at open enrollment. We want X percent going in at guarantee issue. We want X percent underwritten, okay? So when they start getting all this underwritten business that they weren't priced accordingly, that's where we see these loss ratios go higher. Let's look at our leaders. As I said, United Healthcare is our leader, okay? So I also included some of like their national loss ratios here, and not just by state. But if you're taking a look at United Healthcare and you're worried about those higher readjustments, just know that look how many lives they have covered compared to other carriers as well. So they are taking a big hit on the underwriting right now. Scroll back. We want all screen shots. Yep, that's fine. Other leaders, you see Mutual of Omaha, Aetna, Evolence. All the blues are labeled out separately, and then you have Cigna, Humana. But what's really great about the tool and what we can provide you, and you can send me an email and I can send you exactly what you need, but you're going to be able to figure out who are your market leaders in your state, in the areas that you serve. That's a really great added benefit there. But you can see those loss ratios are higher right now for that Plan G at 89% compared to that Plan N at 84%. So that's another reason why a lot of MedSup agents are looking at that Plan N as an option, because it has a little bit more of a stable or a lower loss ratios than a Plan G right now. So let's look at our Medicare Advantage enrollments, and I just want to kind of take you through a couple of examples how you can really start fine-tuning this, because every agent in this room, I've talked to so many agents, you guys are all throughout the U.S., which that's incredible that so many of you are here. And I just want to applaud all of you who had to go through any type of headache for being here and that you are still here. So again, it's incredible. Everyone's efforts for being here. I love it. So we're going to start going through here, and what we can do, and I can anybody that emails me and you want this on a monthly basis, I am happy to do that for you. But we can drill this down and figure out how many people are enrolled in certain plans, and then we can do it based upon state. So since we're in Ohio, I pulled in Ohio. My favorite thing to do with presentations is to do presentations for agents in different states and to start showing them the data in their states, because every state is different. I get the honor of presenting at our a Nebraska conference later this week, and I pulled in our Nebraska numbers. I'm like, Nebraska's still dominant MedSup. I can't say that for every state. It's Nebraska and Iowa that we're still, MedSup is more dominant over MA. But you're gonna start being able to track which carriers have the most enrollments in your particular state. And our system can also show you that down to the county. So even if a particular carrier is more dominant in your state, doesn't necessarily mean that they're more dominant in your particular county either. So I want you to know that in our Medicare Advantage tool, we will break out for you, if you run a Medicare Advantage quote in our platform, we're going to break down for you how many people in that particular county are Medicare eligible. Out of those that are Medicare eligible, how many people are enrolled in an MA plan? So you can really start tracking the penetration in your particular state. From there, we can drill it down by parent company and plan company. So why is this important to know? Especially as we get into AEP. This is where your market opportunity is going to be. And you need to figure out which plans are having the disruption in the market, which plans are exiting the market. Because if you have a plan that's exiting the market, no longer going to be available, or benefits are changing, or prescription drug coverage is going to be different, cost of prescriptions, and there was 500 people in that plan, it's an opportunity to get 500 clients. So really trying to figure out which particular plans in your area are having changes and figure out what does that affect in that particular county. And how can you do target marketing and talk to individuals in your area about that type of disruption. So that's why it's so important to know what this enrollment data looks like, how many people are enrolled in certain carriers and plans, because that's where your opportunity is at. That's where growth happens. This is also a platform that you can figure out where your growth and where your opportunity is at. We have our Market Edge tool. And what our Market Edge tool is, it can take you by state, 3-digit, and 5-digit zip code. And that tool is going to tell you how many people are over age 65, turning age 65 that month, and then have a Med-Sup plan versus a Medicare Advantage plan. So I always tell agents that are really struggling with marketing, really struggling figuring out where should I focus in at, where should I do mail drops, where should I do my Medicare 101 seminars at. Use the data. Figure out where there is the most opportunity at. So you can take this down to the 5-digit zip code. And when you take this down to the 5-digit zip code, it's also going to pull in that median household income. I'm going to be talking about median household income here in a second. I'm checking my time. Make sure I'm on time. Okay. When we talk about our median household income, that's really going to come into play in the next couple of slides for me. So I'm going to kind of come back to that. But this is where you can really target and figure out, okay, I'm going to host a Medicare 101 seminar. Where should I host that at? Well, you're going to want to make sure that you're hosting it in areas that are having that disruption, or you are hosting in areas where we have a higher number of people turning 65, or if you have pockets where it swings more Med-Sup or more MA, depending on that income level, that's also going to kind of set you up as well as knowing what your demographics are in that particular area. I worked with an agent one time, was really struggling getting involvement in their seminars, and I said, where are you hosting those seminars at? They told me, and I was like, move your location. Move your location. And we figured out a location based upon this demographic information. That was the biggest thing that agent did that year, was just moving the location, because we know seniors are not going to travel clear across town to an event, right? So host it in their area. So next, I really want to get into some data that we have from Def Research. Def Research is also an integrity partner, so we partner up with Def Research on a lot of different items that we present to agents. So every single year, Def Research does different type of studies. They do aging into Medicare studies, they do switcher studies, shopper studies, and I always kind of like to pair their studies with our data, because what their studies show us, we can then go around and get the data for our clients in our system. So according to Def Research 2024 agent study, retirement rates among 65 to 69-year-olds have decreased since the start of 2021. So you can see that what they are saying is that, you know, when COVID hit, a lot of people decide that they were going to start retiring. They were going to retire early. They're like, I'm not dealing with this. I'm not dealing from working with home, or I was, you know, getting laid off. They're just going to retire. They're not going to deal with it. Well, then now people are now in a comfortable position where they do want to work. They do want to stay in their particular field. So what you are seeing is people are actually delaying their retirement. So a lot of times we're normally, oh, I'm 65, I'm gonna retire. We're seeing individuals end up working longer and then maybe choosing to retire when they have reached their Social Security or max Social Security. So when we start thinking about people that are going to retire later, maybe they're retiring at that 69 to 70, what does that change for your med-sup marketing and your premiums that you are used to quoting or sending out direct mail pieces with premiums in there? You may not be targeting 65s. You may be targeting 68-year-olds, 79-year-olds, 70-year-olds, right? So your age of who you are targeting is going to start to shift if people end up working longer. They want to make sure that they have that financial stability before they end up retiring. So what you can do in our Market Edge tool is turn around and go and find those individuals based upon, and I can send these slides out too, so you don't have to worry about taking pictures. I can support anybody with these. But if we know when people are retiring based upon their income level, we can go into Market Edge and figure out what that income level is in that particular area and do specific targeting for certain income levels. So think about that. Also think about financial advisors and the role that financial advisors are starting to play with all of your clients. Now, a big indication if an individual is going to go choose a Med-Sup or a Medicare Advantage has a lot of the time been a financial reason. You know, either they can't afford a Medicare supplement or they can't afford one. So we do see a majority of people that do have a higher income level end up choosing a Medicare supplement plan because they can. But when we start taking a look at people that are aging into Medicare and who are they going to for assistance with that, 51% of those using a financial advisor indicated they wanted their financial advisor to assist them with Medicare plan selection in some capacity, okay? 51% was looking for their financial advisor to assist them. So 30% of those individuals wanted their financial advisor to refer them to an agent who can help. 21% recommend a Medicare plan option to them. So who can you partner with in your community that are financial advisors for you to get referrals off of? If 51% of individuals are asking their financial advisor for Medicare assistance or asking for a referral, how many of you work with a financial advisor that is referring clients to you? That's awesome. Keep it up, because that's where they're going to. And why? Because they're helping them make sure that, yes, you can retire because you can afford it. So that's an incredible way for you all to start getting referrals, and our data proves that. We also want to look at when we should start educating our clients and how we want to start educating our clients. So this particular graph really indicated when individuals wanted to receive more ads, wanted to receive more direct mail pieces. So if you look at it, really that starts at that year, 10 to 12 months. There's individuals that are wanting more information, especially by mail. So it allows you a huge opportunity to educate your clients and educate them before they even turn 65 or within that, that 3 months before. Start even before that. So social media posts, Medicare 101 seminars, mailers. I know we supply our agents with a lot of different direct mail pieces, social media posts, even started creating Medicare 101 seminars for agents. So really trying to fine tune when you are starting to execute those different items there. How many of you are utilizing a life and health needs assessment? Every one of you should be utilizing life and health needs assessment. I will send you a generic one if you want one. This is the best thing that you can do not only for your client, but do for yourself as well. What a life and health needs assessment does is walks you through you talking to your client about what their current, and maybe you guys are doing this in some way, shape, or form. You're just not going through a formal assessment. But what this is doing is it's setting you up to understand their current coverage. What do they want in their coverage? What's important to them to have in their particular plans? But it also sets you up for asking about their financial situation too, and how much they can afford. So when you go through a life and a health and needs assessment, it's going to set you up with an incredible opportunity to cross-sell as well. I'm sure all of you know Galen Hendricks, the queen of the bundle. I know she wishes she was here. I was talking to her this week. She's one of my very best friends in this industry because we go to a lot of conferences together. But one thing that's also really important on that health needs assessment is making sure that you have an opportunity to talk to them about cross-selling products as well, because you're going through what their needs are. Another question that we have on that life and health needs assessment, and I know Galen preaches this when she talks, but who is helping you make your medical choices, right? That's such an important question to make sure that you are asking, because those are the individuals that those particular people are going to and seeking advice from as well. Also, those are likely people that are looking at their moms or their dads or their grandparents' bank accounts and saying, hey, Dad, what's this $60 a month with GTL? It's my hospital indemnity insurance. Oh, just hospital? Oh, well, they didn't know that also included a cancer rider and an ambulance rider and all the other different riders. So it's really important to always loop in that person that helps your clients make those medical choices, even financial choices. It's also a great way to get a referral for life insurance or final expense insurance or ACA as well. So cancer insurance. According to Deaf Research, their age-in study, age-in choice consideration between a MedSup and a Medicare Advantage are starting to come a little bit more together here. So they had a chart here where it used to be that I would say it's like kind of closing like an alligator's mouth is kind of how I would show how it's starting to kind of slightly come into play there. But there's a couple of reasons for that. 24% have heard negative things about Medicare Advantage. Okay, so if people are starting to hear negative comments about Medicare Advantage, there may be an opportunity that they may be more interested in a Medicare supplement plan. That is a 13% increase from 2021. It's big numbers there. The utilization profiles of age-in planning on enrolling in either a MA or a MedSup are nearly identical with no meaningful difference. So when we're looking at people aging into Medicare, whether they end up choosing a MedSup or a Medicare Advantage plan, a big differentiator has been their financials. But if we start looking at how many times a year do you go to the doctor, how many prescription drugs are you taking, that's where we get into the utilization of your health insurance. There hasn't been a big difference to say you're more MedSup or you're more MA. So that's why if you are not going into an appointment offering both products, talking about both products, you are doing your client a disservice there. 60% of individuals that are aging into Medicare have talked with family or friends. 40% use the internet, Medicare.gov, Social Security websites, and 30% read direct mail. Does any of those surprise you? I keep thinking, every time I'm like, God, direct mail's not doing it, I'm like, God, the data shows it is. 37% direct mail. You know, I train agents on purchasing leads in our lead center platform. You know, most agents have the most success with direct mail leads. And I know Lead Concepts is here, and we do work with Lead Concepts, but it's incredible that the data shows that they want more mail. They want it, and when you get a lead from a mailer, you know they had to take out that pin, write their contact information out, and go put it in the mailbox. It's a lot of effort there. But the good news for all of you, although consumers are utilizing these resources and researching, agents said agents are the most helpful and the most influential. I want you to give yourselves a round of applause. You are the most helpful and the most influential. But knowing that people are 60% are talking with their friends or their family. I tell agents all the time, social media is your best friend when it comes to that. And I'm a believer, I'm just saying this is my opinion, one social media page, not a business page, not a personal page. I believe in one. Because you need to make sure that your friends and your family know what you do, so when their relatives are talking to them, they know who to send them to. AEP shopping. So I sound like a broken record, but we know there's going to be disruption this year. You all know it. So how consumers shopped last year, that's going to be a little bit different than how consumers are shopping this year. Just kind of keep that in mind as I'm presenting this information. But last year, although most shopping began prior to Thanksgiving, so 74 individuals shopped prior to Thanksgiving, the highest share of seniors hold off on making any decisions until after Thanksgiving. That's interesting. I was very interested when I saw that information, but I know things are going to be a little bit more different this year. But keep in mind, this year especially, it's going to be so important that your clients do make a decision with you earlier than later, because you don't want another agent to come in and snag that, or you don't want them to get their annual notice of change and then start calling in and start entering all their data on different websites and different lead platforms. So it's going to be very important that you reach out to them soon, but just know it may take them a little bit longer to make a decision. Last year, 58% of enrollments were facilitated by agents. I hate that number. I wish that number was so much higher, don't you? I was actually really surprised. So think about how many people are going to websites and enrolling themselves, or calling into a carrier and enrolling directly with a carrier. So these are independent agents, so 58%. Independent agents. The rest are going direct to carrier, direct to a website to do their enrollment. So that's also a huge opportunity for all of you. Huge opportunity there, especially as you start figuring out which plans are going to have disruption and making sure that you target those areas where those plans are changing the most. Last year, 40% of seniors who spoke with an agent about MA also discussed MedSup. I hate this one too. I hate this one. I wish every agent talked to their client about both. You should, right? You should. Just know that if you're not bringing up both products and your client somehow gets in contact with another agent who brought up both products, ooh, they're probably going to go work with that other agent, because they're going to say, oh, my agent didn't tell me this. I preach that when I talk about hospital indemnity insurance. I think it was it 0.8% of individuals have hospital indemnity insurance? What an opportunity. What an opportunity for not only for you to capture an ancillary product, but capture their MA business next year, because they're going to say, oh, my insurance agent didn't tell me that. But they're shopping because they are triggered by those annual notice of changes too, okay? So keep that in mind, how you are going to utilize that. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. Thank you for listening to my spiel in the very beginning. I always tell agents, if you are struggling with something, talk to us. Let us help you figure out how we can be better, just like I helped that agent figure out where to move his Medicare 101 seminars to. The data's powerful. You just have to know how to use it. So thank you.